Hi everyone, it's Sharon Charagu from the Kenyan Diaspora Media, and with me today right in Kenya, Nairobi at the Giraffe Center, I just happened to meet one of the very influential person in the diaspora by the name Wycliffe Mobeck. We are going to hear a little bit of his journey and how the diasporians are trying to build our country. So Wycliffe, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you, Sharon.
Some bunnies are here now.
Yeah, our country is amazing. Yeah, we are so rich of culture, wildlife, and all that.
Yeah.
And that's why we always try to be the number one tourist in our country.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much here. They call us summer bunnies and all that. But we're really so much interested to be in our country and just enjoy and spend our money here.
Yeah, true. So which specific diaspora country are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Kansas. Yeah, that's in the Midwest.
No.
Yes, that's where I reside, that's where I work. Yes.
No. So tell me a little bit about your journey from Kenya. How did you get to the US and for how long have you been in the US?
That's easy. I left Kenya about 10 years ago. Yeah, I went to the US to study.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I left into changed into something else. You know, it's very progressive at times, and
Okay.
we live there now, we become residents, citizens, family, and all that. Yeah.
Okay. From my little research, I've also found out that you have a little bit of something that you're doing in the US. Can you expound a little bit for us about that?
Yeah, it's all about representation about the Kenyan areas, trying to give them room for them to be acknowledged, and be sound and make proper progress into the country. Because Kenyans in the diaspora are so rich, they have left this country, but they never forgot where they came from. So in most cases, is I would say to be acknowledged to be as a Kenyan diaspora is such a big thing. But it's not all about the US only. I think people think like the Kenyan diaspora is the US. And the Kenyan diaspora is just diverse. It's just everywhere in the world. Even someone who's coming from Tanzania is a diasporian as well, because he's already left the country.
Recently we saw together with a lobby group from the diaspora, you guys were pushing for to have voting rights. Can you also expand that for us?
Yeah, pretty much, every Kenyan, wherever they are in the world, they still stand to be treated as Kenyans, and they have rights as equal as anyone else is in the country, irrespective of where they are. And the reason why we were pushing that motion, it was actually an elections amendment bill for the diasporans to be acknowledged, so they can have representation in the parliamentary, so we can be a part of the budgeting team. We want to be on the table, because you see, all that we are recognized for is remittances in most cases, and that's not something that we want to be acknowledged. We want to be a part of the big team and deciding table, and feel like we are part of the team that is contributing towards this country, so no more than money. Remittances, a lot of people look at it like it's just only money. Remittances is a lot of things, even skills, a contribution towards it. It's directly and indirectly as well. Be a part of it. Even right now, spending money here is remittances as well. Supporting a family back here is remittances as well. Trying to help the government by being a part of the team, which is helping in other issues. Like, let's say, for instance, today I have my family people over here, right? I directly not going to give them money or support them in one way or the other, because the work of the government is actually pretty much is to make the environment better for each and every one. So when you help your family member over here, when you invest, start a business, do all that, is pretty much remittances. Remittances is just a general term, but it just comes in a lot of things. Both direct and indirectly.
So recently we've seen our government has really been pushing for our young people and most Kenyans to go to these diaspora countries and work from there. What's your take on that?
Exporting Kenyans from here to the diaspora is pretty much like taking all our skills that we have out there. At the same time, people to go there to gain experience and exposure is another thing that we have to look into as well, which is very important. But pretty much, let me start by saying exporting Kenyans from here into those countries, it depends on what they're going to do. That I saw, like they say, skilled labor and unskilled labor at the same time. It's a lot of things that are happening. But those Kenyans, when they go out there, they work and send money back. But the country as well has so much resources that it can expand here and create more jobs for Kenyans. That's why some of us who have gone to the diaspora, we've come back with the same ideas that we have probably we have that slot in the government or something, and we're able to advise the stakeholders, whoever were up there, and then we see what we can do to make sure our country is growing the farthest that it can. Yeah. The government should get in touch with the other diplomatic missions and try to ease up the process, because it's becoming really hectic and it's becoming dangerous at the same time, depending which country that people are traveling to, right? And especially like in the Middle East, like in Lebanon, Saudi, Qatar, and all that. All their rights should be really preserved as Kenyans, especially they're going to do unskilled labor and all that. So it's very important at the same time we have to discuss that at length. But at the same time, like you say, like the US and the UK, these are the countries, Australia, apparently it's really accommodating a lot of people. Canada stopped as well. But Canada was doing so well, but it stopped. But at the same time, what I'm saying here is, I don't know how it's going to be easy for the government to have those diplomatic discussions and easy up the process and at least make it more friendlier, because we're more friendly, we really accommodate everyone from around the world in our country. So I would expect those countries that we have those friendly relationship like that. Maybe I know it's such a tough exercise for them to go, and because it's kind of pretty much like interfering with diplomatic missions or whatever. But I know based on the call, when the call is so high, I think they need to listen, more especially the U.S. Embassy, you see, and try to ease the process for them. It's tough, tedious.
People think that going to the diaspora countries, most people think people go to the US only through green cards.
Yeah, I would. It's green cards are such a. It's just a lottery, right? You have to win a lottery for you to go to the US, for instance, right? It's the one which normally offers green cards, which pretty much like you don't have to hustle your life up. You go to the US as a permanent resident immediately, and start working, and maybe you transition yourself to citizenship and all that. Now what I'm saying here is more exchange of business exchange and all that. There are different types of visas that can easily be issued and all that. The US government kind of puts them on the website, but the only problem where is issuance of those visas. Yeah, the percentage is like almost 10% of issuance of visas, that's all that. But at the same time, I really do not want to encourage people to leave the country as well, because we have so much in our country that can easily be realized depending on how we organize ourselves through proper budgeting and all that. It's very important, by the way. Yeah, that's very important. We will need to expand our country into industrialization. We need to expand our country into more cultural activities. Because you see, like the US doesn't have a lot of wild, but it's one of the best tourists in the whole world. What do you think they're doing right? It's proper marketing and branding of their country, right? At the same time, you have to be very passionate about our country, selling our country out there. But you can never sell your country out there if the country is not supporting you in one way or the other, right? Tanzania is doing it. The president is very intentional on how they want their country to be. It's not like they're doing it better than us. We are way better than where they are, but the president is 100% involved and positively and passionately about it. So what we do back here is how best everyone can be wealthy and all that. So it's a lot of things that we need to look into. If we are trying to propagate new leadership to come into place with new skills, new exposure, at the same time, like I was doing an interview somewhere, someone asked me a question about like young leadership. I don't look at things like that. I look at people from policy making. People at proper governance. You understand? The transparency, not honesty, because honesty is after crime, and then you want to be honest, you can't come clean, right? Transparency from the word go. Those are the key things that we have to look at, right? Make proper choices for our leadership. Right now, we have mistakes in our offices. People don't have the passion for our country, like the other day I was challenging members of parliament the other day. I asked them, who amongst you has ever just taken a flight using their own money? If you are so passionate enough, you go to the US or you go to these other countries without an impressed or without a per diem and go there try to do something which is related to your work or to your job or to your electorate. No one. If there's no money, they can't do anything. But what about the aspirants? Is another different game. The worst. Let me say the worst. I want the most complicated crowd to govern is the diaspora, because pretty much like even in elections, you can't bribe them. How can you bribe them? everybody has money, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much everybody has money. So what they want is all about transparency. That's why I was saying, like, the young people, more of them, they need to embrace proper leadership, proper governance, decency, honesty, transparency, and other when it comes to stuff dealing with the government. Yeah, if you get an opportunity to work in the government, bring change. Try to do something which is going to be different among us, something that you can easily remember, point a finger to you and say, like, hey, this Sharon did this, or Mobeck did this. You know, leadership is not on social media and all that. Leadership starts from the national. It starts from yourself first of all, and it ends up to legislation. If you can have the right intent to try to bring proper leadership in the country and all that, and try to bring things into order. But you can't do it as an individual. You have to do it as a team. It's all about teamwork. At the same time, people have to be very intentional. People have to be very implementational of what they say. At the same time, they have to be very regular to the point whereby, like, you have to be different from another person that you think is doing something right or wrong. You understand? So when we have all those things factored in there, they kind of bring the whole dynamic. But not like we don't have people who are doing that. We have the governor of Muranga, Irungu Kamangata. We have the governor of Makueni. We have the governor of Kisumu, Anyang' Nyong'o. You know, yeah, I mean, things, people are there who are able to do the right things at the right place. I mean, we are the diaspora. We are looking at it. We see it, and we know who's doing right. Yeah.
Speaking of that, recently we saw the Nairobi Women Rep, Esther Passaris. She said that you Kenyans in the diaspora are really against this leadership and you're really not giving the president a space to like work.
And I want to tell the Kenyans out there, especially the ones who are abroad and probably never even voted, don't even send any taxes to Kenya. You know, certain countries pay taxes if they want pensions in their own country, certain citizens. I mean, here we have a lot of Kenyans who live abroad, and they make so much noise, and they keep branding the president a liar. I'll tell you one thing. There is no one who can make a promise and be able to deliver it when things that are beyond his control come to play.
What do you think about
the people like Esther Passaris, so to say, it's very unfortunate to have such kind of leadership actually she's a woman represent, right, for Nairobi. And me, what I would say is I've looked over her politics from her light all the way up, growing up. I've seen how she does her politics. It's very unfortunate we have those kind of leaders in office. The reason that's why I'm saying that is because as a leader, you don't just say. When you go on the microphone, you really have to censor your words, and you have to say things with a lot of measure of reciprocity, you know, because those kind of things can easily come as a backlash, you know. You say, and the diaspora, they're not going to sit back and watch you do something stupid, and then expect just people just to keep quiet. They won't check on you. It's only the fact that they can't stomach your nonsense. It didn't have to be like, you know, the people in the diaspora are going to give the president space to work on what? It's 3 years in office. What are you doing? Those are the questions out there. If you've done something, you don't have to be questioned. The people themselves should even say, hey, this president or this woman that has done ABCD. Yeah, but you coming out in the microphone and just pour words just because you want to have some following on social media, it doesn't really help. Yeah, it's very unfortunate what she says. I really don't acknowledge her as much with our politics as much. I don't align with whatever that she does. Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate. That's what I'll say. Yeah. The Kenyans and the diaspora are not happy from the onset. Yes, they're not. I could say a percentage of them they are, depending on what they've seen from maybe from the State Department of the Diaspora Affairs and all that. But the largest part, the people in the diaspora really look at things very differently. Yes, I would say that. And more especially the people in the United States, they are very strong in what they believe in what they've seen and what they've exposed themselves into. As we started from the beginning, I told you, when you go out there, you look at things differently and you start acting differently, and the way even you speak differently. So it changes your mind, it changes the way you think. And maybe that one doesn't resonate with people like us, Esther Passaris, like Francis Atwoli, because Francis Atwoli wants to stay in office forever, right? True. But we must have someone there who can easily do the same job that he's doing, maybe even better, even represent the workers in a way better way than having such an old dude in office who can never do anything. So that when someone is coming out to call you, it becomes a problem. You understand? So some people won't stomach it. Yeah.
I get it. So now a parting shot or two, maybe a word to Kenyans in the diaspora and Kenyans who also want to go to the diaspora as we finish up?
Yeah, right now a lot of Kenyans are suffering. That's the truth. And with all this governance that which is in place, I must say, I'm not gonna say that I don't acknowledge anything. I do, and I'm in it. I'm suffering as well as anyone else is in this country, because probably my expenditures are a little bit higher than someone who's here, because probably I support a lot of people back in the country. Not everyone does support people here, but some people are in business and their business is hurting. What I'll say, the only thing which can help us right now is just to be very conscious on how we are doing our elections, stop emotions, slow down, choose our leadership properly with policies and things that we can easily just stick our head to and point out and say, this is what we're looking at, this is what are our expectations, and all that. People to be prompt into ideas, to embrace more sanity than anything else. Because right now what we are saying is just a lot of foolishness that's going around. People should be very how can I say, people to be very intentional. Yeah, like you have the intent of doing something right. Yeah.
Okay. I really want to appreciate you so much for your time and for giving us that much of insight. And hope you guys did find the video informative. And also to Kenyans in the diaspora, remember the Kenyan diaspora is your home. Until next time, keep it TKDM.